You've seen Area 51 on the map. You've zoomed in on Google Earth. But what if I told you what you're seeing isn't real? What if the images we've trusted for years, the satellite photos, the terrain maps, even the supposed real-time visuals, are carefully edited illusions? Look closely. While you can clearly see the rooftops of your neighbor's house or the cars parked on a random street in Tokyo, Area 51 appears blurry, distorted. Some parts are pixelated, others look like they've been copied and pasted from another time. Why? Why does a base that officially doesn't exist still have its most recent images blurred, outdated, or simply replaced? And it's not just Area 51. Zoom out. Look at the surrounding Nevada desert. The difference is undeniable. Natural terrain looks crisp. The boundaries around the facility, though, they vanish, dissolve into digital fog. Satellite mapping platforms like Google Maps and Bing don't deny it. They just quietly omit it. No announcement, no explanation. Just layers of invisible censorship. This isn't just a glitch. It's not a low-resolution day. It's a controlled view, a lens filtered by governments, satellite contractors, and security agreements. But here's the question that opens the door. If there's nothing to hide, why hide it at all? For decades, the U.S. government refused to even acknowledge the existence of Area 51. Official documents omitted it. Maps erased it. When asked, military spokespeople responded with silence or vague misdirection. It wasn't until 2013 that the CIA finally declassified documents confirming what conspiracy theorists had shouted for years, that deep within the Nevada desert, a secret installation had operated under layers of denial. Initially framed as a testing site for you to spy planes during the Cold War, Area 51's origins were tied to national security. But what began as a classified aerospace hub slowly evolved into something darker, something mythic. Stories of alien crafts, reverse engineering programs, and secret underground bunkers began to circulate. Whistleblowers like Bob Lazar added fuel to the fire, claiming first-hand experience with technology not of this earth. The government, meanwhile, maintained its stance: deny, delay, deflect. But even as decades passed, one question lingered: why so much effort to hide something that's just an aircraft test site? In an age where global satellite coverage gives civilians access to real-time views of almost any location on Earth, the consistent censorship of Area 51 stands out like a glitch in the Matrix. The deeper you look, the more deliberate it seems. Blurred zones, recycled imagery, geospatial anomalies. It's as if the digital world is trying to erase the physical one. Which brings us to the present moment, where secrecy doesn't just live in hidden files and classified memos, it lives in pixels, in maps, in the very images we're told to trust. And those images, they're starting to crack. Take a virtual flight over Nevada using any public satellite mapping tool, Google Maps, Bing Maps, Apple Maps, or even OpenStreetMap. As you move across the arid desert, the terrain appears as expected: dusty ridges, dry lake beds, and vast empty stretches of wilderness. But then, it changes. As you approach a specific region near Groom Lake, the resolution drops, the colors shift, the textures get soft, like someone applied a blur filter. Some tiles are outdated, not by months, but by years. Others are mismatched, as if stitched together from different decades. You're looking at Area 51, and the censorship isn't subtle, it's strategic. This digital anomaly isn't just a random inconsistency in image quality. When you compare it with other military bases, like Edwards Air Force Base in California or Fort Bragg in North Carolina, you'll notice something strange. Those sites are visible, detailed, sharp. But Area 51, it's been digitally sterilized. The surroundings are high resolution. The core of the base, low-fi fog. And this isn't just on Google. The same anomalies appear on other platforms. Different image sources, same distortions. In fact, on some maps, when you zoom in too far, you're abruptly kicked back out, as if the system won't let you get too close. This isn't a glitch, it's a controlled view. The term for this process is image replacement. It's when certain map tiles are manually swapped with altered versions, often older, less detailed, or manipulated. These edited layers are designed to appear seamless to the casual observer. But if you know what to look for, if you trace the fault lines, the truth becomes clear. Someone has deliberately scrubbed this piece of land clean from the digital eye. Most people believe satellite imagery is a neutral, automated process, a camera in the sky capturing the earth below. But behind those images are corporations, contracts, and quiet collaborations with intelligence agencies. The companies responsible for delivering what we see on mapping platforms aren't just tech firms. They're deeply embedded in the defense and surveillance ecosystem. Maxar Technologies, formerly Digital Globe, is one of the primary providers of satellite imagery to both Google and the U.S. government, and it doesn't operate in a vacuum. Maxar has multi-million-dollar contracts with the Department of Defense, the National Reconnaissance Office, and the CIA. This means the same organizations that control the skies also control what we're allowed to see from them. Planet Labs, another rising player in the satellite imaging world, operates hundreds of small satellites orbiting Earth. Their stated mission is to deliver daily updates of the entire globe, but some areas are excluded. Guess which ones? Restricted military zones, high-value intelligence targets, and of course, the Nevada Test and Training Range, where Area 51 sits. Then there's the policy side. Governments have legal frameworks that allow them to restrict satellite imagery of sensitive sites. The U.S. has used these laws to limit what can be shared publicly, not just within its own borders, but also influencing what global partners can distribute. This is how you hide a base in plain sight. You don't cover it with a tarp. You cover it with legislation, contracts, and edited pixels. And it works, until someone starts asking the right questions. The veil over Area 51 is held in place only by satellites and legislation. It's reinforced by silence. Yet over the years, cracks have formed, and from those cracks, voices have emerged. Some loud, some carefully disguised. Bob Lazar, perhaps the most infamous whistleblower linked to Area 51, claimed in 1989 that he worked on extraterrestrial technology within a site adjacent to the base known as S4. According to him, craft with propulsion systems far beyond human capability were being reverse-engineered underground. His story was met with ridicule by officials, but strangely, key elements of his background vanished. His employment and education records, gone, erased. He isn't alone. Over the decades, others have stepped forward anonymously, some through classified leaks, others through encrypted forums and dark web channels. Their testimonies point to a common theme. What's hidden beneath Area 51 is far more advanced and more disturbing than what's above. These insiders speak of multi-level underground facilities, elevators that descend into classified zones, and technologies that defy known physics. Whether or not these claims are true, the consistency in their details is unsettling. Then there are the drone incidents. Hobbyist pilots who attempt to film the area with civilian drones often report signal jamming, sudden crashes, or threats from unmarked SUVs patrolling the desert perimeter. In some cases, their footage simply disappears. These aren't accidents, they're patterns. And patterns, when repeated enough, stop being coincidences. What's fascinating is not just what's being hidden, but the force and precision with which it's being kept from public view. If you thought censorship only lived in the digital sky, think again. It's on the ground too, watching, intercepting, erasing. Area 51 might be the poster child for government secrecy, but it's far from the only place on Earth where the satellite view gets suspiciously blurry. In fact, once you start looking, you'll notice a pattern, and that pattern stretches far beyond Nevada. Zoom in on certain regions of Israel, and you'll find similar censorship. That's no accident. The Kyle Bingaman Amendment, passed in 1997, prohibits U.S. companies from publishing high-resolution satellite images of Israeli territory. It's an example of how legal tools are used to cloak entire nations, not just species. Now look at parts of North Korea, pixelated, dated, sometimes entirely missing. Russian military zones often appear stitched together with older images or completely wiped of detail. And then there's the
mysterious stretches of Antarctica, where Google Earth seems to glitch, replacing terrain with whiteout patches or mirrored ice anomalies that don't line up naturally. Are these errors, or at its even some locations within the US, follow the same pattern? Sections of Alaska's wilderness near suspected military research zones, like HOP, show abnormal imaging discrepancies, shadows with no source, structures that vanish between updates, and strange magnetic interference patterns in mapping overlays. When you begin to map the censorship itself, a global grid starts to emerge, a network of high-interest, high-secrecy locations that are digitally filtered before they ever reach the public eye. So here's the real question. Is Area 51 the most important secret, or just the most visible distraction? For those who refuse to accept the blurred boundaries of official satellite maps, alternative platforms have become digital gold mines, at least for a time. Some of these platforms operate on different legal and geopolitical standards. Russian-based services, for example, have occasionally published high-resolution images of military installations that appear censored on Western platforms. Sites like Yandex Maps and outdated archives from Tarasova have, at different points in time, shown glimpses of structures and layouts near Groom Lake that were quickly scrubbed elsewhere. And then there are the leaked map tiles, raw image files pulled from satellite servers before their final public safe versions are processed. These fragments sometimes surfaced on deep web forums, shared by anonymous uploaders claiming to be former employees of mapping firms or military contractors. Many of these images are low resolution or corrupted, but some appear untouched, showing geometric formations, infrastructure grids, and airstrips not present in the official overlays. But they never stay up for long. Users report links going dead within hours, accounts disappearing, and platforms being taken offline without notice. Whether it's takedown requests or silent government intervention, these leaks are treated like threats, not curiosities. And that reaction speaks volumes. There is also the community of independent geospatial analysts who download satellite data directly from commercial or academic sources, bypassing APIs and front-end restrictions. These users often report inconsistencies between raw datasets and their processed counterparts, especially around restricted regions. In the age of data, the truth isn't hidden, it's overwritten. As the layers of censorship and secrecy pile up, so do the theories, some grounded, others reaching into the realms of science fiction. Among the most persistent are claims that Area 51 is not just a military testing ground but a hub for extraterrestrial technology. Whistleblowers have alleged the presence of alien spacecraft being hidden deep within underground hangars, inaccessible even to high-ranking officials. Others speculate about the existence of interdimensional portals, secret tunnels connecting Area 51 to unknown realities or distant locations, guarded by advanced security systems designed to keep the public unaware. Some even suggest the base is a center for genetic experiments, creating hybrids or studying non-human life forms. While these ideas often attract skepticism, their very survival in public discourse highlights one truth: the absence of transparent information breeds imagination and fear, whether fact-fiction or somewhere in between. These theories form the undercurrent of the Area 51 mystery. What can't be denied is the vast effort to control what is seen and known, suggesting that what lies beneath is far beyond the everyday secrets governments admit. After peeling back layers of pixelated mystery and classified silence, one truth remains clear. The question isn't whether Area 51 is secret, but why. If this remote patch of desert holds nothing but outdated planes and routine tests, why invest so much in censoring what the public can observe from space? The answer may lie not in what is shown, but in what is intentionally kept hidden, in the shadows beyond the blurred pixels. In a world increasingly transparent, the digital fog over Area 51 challenges us to reconsider our assumptions about truth and control. Is the reality beneath the desert simply too sensitive for public eyes? Or is the censorship itself a powerful tool to shape perception, to keep the world looking, but not seeing? As viewers, we are left at the crossroads of curiosity and skepticism, invited to question not just what we are shown, but the very nature of the unseen. The digital map may be edited, but the questions it raises remain raw and real. If you believe the pixelated shadows over Area 51 are more than glitches, if you feel there's a hidden story beneath the censored images, then you're not alone. Comment below with the phrase "I see beyond the map" to join a community that refuses to accept the official narrative. Subscribe now to dive deeper into the secrets behind the world's most classified sites. This is just the beginning. In the next video, we'll explore tunnels and technologies that governments swear guarantee exist, but the evidence suggests otherwise. Stay curious, stay vigilant, and remember, sometimes What you're not allowed to see reveals the greatest truths.